Hey everyone, it's the Advocate, and I am just coming to you to share another story about when I was a domestic violence advocate for the prosecutor in Columbus, Ohio. And I wanted to share that a story that was about a young man. He was the son in the story, and he was amazing. I'm going to call him Young King. I thought of that just because LeBron James is from Akron, Ohio, and I'm in Ohio, and I think that he would call this young man Young King. So this guy was super special. His situation was bad. Bio dad and mom were divorced, and so Young King was with Bio dad. Bio dad had a pot problem and would get high frequently, and he ended up this one particular time getting irritated with Young King, who was in high school. He was a star football player. He was a model. He was a very handsome young man. He was super sweet. He was just a good kid. He did not deserve anything that happened to him. Him and dad get into an altercation, and dad it becomes very violent with him to the point of strangling him and causing petechiae. Now this young man is like very fair-skinned, but light-skinned, but he is black, and I could see his petechiae like he was a pale white person. Like it was that prevalent on his face. Like he had so much petechiae across his cheeks and his nose and on his neck, and I seriously teared up. Like I was like, this is unacceptable. Like honestly, my daughter was like his age, and I was like, this is not okay with me. Like I am not okay with this. And so I had him in my office with mom, and I was interviewing him, and he was telling me everything and all the other stuff that had happened. And I was like, whoa, like this is just a crazy situation. But, dad also provided him with a fancy car and other stuff. And so it's kind of what an abuser does, right? It's like, it's that love bomb. And Young King didn't know what to do. I mean, here he was a model. He was supposed to be going off to play football. He was had all this stuff going for him. And here's dad being an asshole. I mean, okay, I shouldn't say that. But dad was not cool. And dad was not cool through the court process either. Really did not help make Young King feel safe. Didn't really admit his faults at first. was really mistreating bio mom as a result of the arrest and the charges because it was going to affect him. Well, how about take ownership for your actions, because you did this, not young King. You did. Like, I don't even remember what it was over. It was something stupid. Like, maybe he got a B or something. Like, it was like, oh my goodness. Like, this is just crazy, right? So, nail polish. But my point is, you know, I had children's services involved. We had them on our floor. And he wasn't at risk to go into like foster care, anything like that. It wasn't that type of situation. But it's just so sad that the world that we live in right now, that these kids, some of these kids can't feel safe in their own home. Like, there's a plethora of them. There's so many of them. Like the little girl, I'm trying to think of the story now. Oh, la 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 la. Well, I'll just tie it to Morphew. Because why wouldn't I? Look at Macy and Mallory know what Barry is like. Macy told her mom, why are you still with, you know, Dad? Like, he's not doing, he's abusing you. Like, you should get a protection order and we should go get an apartment or something. And then when she was questioned, she said there wasn't any problems. Like, she wasn't honest when it mattered. And then was like beside Dad and Mallory throughout the court process. And as a result, it gave people a false, like, security as to what was really happening in the home. And Macy knew. I mean, my understanding is that she was really at Miles' house a lot. And I can't divulge sources, but I was told that very early on in this case. Like, she was never home. She avoided being at Puma Path, especially when Barry was there. And in the one part of the arrest affidavit, Barry had even forgotten Macy's birthday. And, you know, it's just like, now, he didn't, like, to our knowledge, didn't choke her to the point of causing petechiae and, you know, then try to buy her a fancy car or whatever. But he certainly has shelled out a lot of money to those girls to buy their silence. And it has worked. It has worked, most definitely. So in young King's case, he spoke out. He wasn't afraid to say, my dad is abusive to me and I don't want to live like this. It doesn't matter if I can't be a model and he won't sign the papers, or if I can't play football or whatever it is. I got to stand up for what's right. What he's doing to me isn't okay. And I valued that so much in him for being so young and so popular and so, like, all those things, athletic, and just like people wanted to hang out with this kid. Like, he was And he really had a bad situation going on at home. So, you never know what somebody's going through, and especially not in situations like domestic violence. Like, here, this looked like a good family, and like literally this is what was happening. And like, that is the same case with Morphew. Like, it didn't matter that that was a $1.6 million house and that they are dressed to the nines and look stunningly gorgeous, just like young King did. But listen, at the end of the day, that's not what was happening on the inside of those four walls, right? So just be mindful of that when you hear a story, that there might be more to it. So that's all I've got for you. And just be cognizant of people around you, and something that doesn't seem right might not be right. All right? Don't be afraid to speak out, because love shouldn't hurt. Take care.